Yes, the oppressive heat today.
Right, and talk about Texas weather giving us all this. A quick spin-up tropical storm didn't affect us, thank goodness.
Right.
And now today the whole state really hot. But you know, it was interesting, they made the right decision. You know, it happened very quickly. The Hurricane Center has to decide, when it's close to big population centers too, they would rather get the name out there and make sure people are aware of it. But this storm's already moving up through the southeast.
Which we're glad to hear, because normally we're preparing for this for days, and so this was a much different situation.
A much faster one, which is typical for El Nino. As we've talked about, that's what we're in this year. But for today in Dallas, we're just talking about the heat. Now, we'd love to see a little bit of that rain, maybe some wraparound rain. Good news is we might see a little rain off the dry line late overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. We have that weather alert today, not for any rain though, unfortunately, for the heat. Heat advisory for the whole Metroplex, okay? It's already 88 at our Denton camera. And right now the wind's out of the southeast 10 to 15. It's hot, it's humid. It really doesn't feel too good out there. I like to show this camera because my son loves windmills. And these are wind turbines, but they're all the same to him. So if you're watching, there you go. Got the windmill spinning there out of Denton. Heat advisory for the entire Metroplex. This goes from noon, so in 55 minutes or so here through 9 o'clock. Heat indices as high as 110, that's 43 degrees centigrade. And we may have some spots actually get closer to 112, okay? Here's where we are now. It feels like 96 in Dallas, 100 Waxahachie and Granbury. I'm sure you don't want to see this map, but here's where we're going. 108, 109, Fort Worth, Dallas, respectively. 111 out in Breckenridge. Yikes. Stay cool today. Coming up, we'll talk about that rain. Good chance coming in late overnight. More on that in a bit. Kara.
We need it. Okay, thank you so very much, Colin. A live look at DFW Airport in Dallas Love Field as both our local carriers, American and Southwest, announced they are letting passengers change certain flights for free due to severe weather. It is only for a limited time. Happening now, the Public Utility Commission of Texas is meeting, and a big vote on those controversial data centers is expected. Tiffany Liu is following the latest developments and joins me live. Tiffany, what is happening today?
Well, Kara, yeah, that meeting is happening right now. But before we get into that, this is one of those topics that can get complicated really easily. So I just wanted to break it down for you, simplify it a little bit. Texas has hundreds of proposed data centers and other projects asking to connect to the power grid. ERCOT, the state's main power grid operator, has always reviewed them one at a time. Well, now regulators are considering a system called Batch Zero. With Batch Zero, they'll study many projects together and decide which ones are realistic and what upgrades are needed. They're doing this because the number of requests to connect to the grid are unmanageable. According to ERCOT, data centers make up 87% of the new power requests coming into the grid. So Batch Zero will help decide which projects move ahead, which projects will wait, and how available power gets allocated. ERCOT has already agreed this is the process they want to use, and so now the Public Utility Commission of Texas, they're going to decide whether to make it official or not. Now, at last check, the meeting was an executive session. They recently came out of executive session. That vote is expected to happen today on whether Batch Zero will become the new process. Kara, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany. And in another move, today, federal regulators approved a separate plan intended to make it easier for AI data centers to connect to power grids across the country. A live look now at Chicago, where the grand opening ceremony for the Barack Obama Presidential Center just got underway at the top of the hour. Not only are the former president and his wife Michelle expected to be there, they'll be joined by former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Joe Biden. We've also seen a number of celebrities, including Steven Spielberg, Oprah Winfrey, and Morgan Freeman. Tomorrow on Juneteenth, the doors open to the public. Lee Waldman looks at what you can expect from the Obama Center.
To be able to give this extraordinary gift back to their hometown and to their community, which will be a real economic engine for Chicago and for the South Side, but a beacon of hope for the world.
The sprawling Obama Presidential Center breaks the mold of presidential libraries. Spread across 19.3 acres, the center offers a museum, a new branch of the Chicago Public Library, an NBA regulation-sized basketball court, and more.
We went out into the surrounding community and we spoke to our neighbors. And we said, what would you like to see on this campus?
Valerie Jarrett, longtime advisor to President Obama and CEO of the Obama Foundation, wants people, whether you're from down the street or around the world, to feel welcomed. The center features 28 art installations. Museum director Luis Bernard says the exhibits showcase the living legacy of the former first couple.
They are about the power and place of Chicago. They're about the idea of different voices and practices coming together. They're about memory and place, the power of color to transport people.
The architects say that they based the museum shape on a visual of 4 hands coming together. The center says this promotes the idea that many hands shape a space. Already, the campus is alive. School children have visited for field trips. Groups have toured some early exhibits.
You have a sense when people walk in, they look up and they feel like it belongs to them.
In Chicago, I'm Lee Waldman.
A Dallas pub was set to reopen minutes ago at the top of the hour after capacity concerns. Dallas Fire Rescue says the crowd grew to more than 2 times the allowed capacity at the Londoner yesterday during the England and Croatia World Cup game. In a statement, the Londoner says it's grateful for the business, but crowds also damaged property and landscaping. An interesting note in Boston, where bars ran dry thanks to Scottish fans. The fans known as the Tartan Army packed bars before and after the games, and a number of those bars, well, they ran out of nearly every type of beer. They had even stocked heavy on it, and they still didn't have enough. Here's something to think about with all the World Cup celebrations: alcohol consumption, now thought to be good for you, right, overall, in any amount actually. But adding to new reports, the American Cancer Society and the World Health Organization both maintain that even small amounts can have negative consequences, a change from previous studies. Our expert here, our medical expert, Dr. David Winter with Baylor Scott and White, is going to clarify the issue, especially when we talk about all these bars running out of alcohol. Okay, so let's talk about, is alcohol all bad?
Well, clearly, heavy consumption of alcohol is bad for your health. Now, for years we've said that if a man has 2 or 3 drinks a day, a woman 1 or 2 drinks a day, that's good for your health. That may not be true, may not be bad, but more than that, clearly can cause problems with cancer, with pancreatitis, liver disease, even high blood pressure. All those things with moderate to high consumption of alcohol, Kara.
So one of the things that I know we've heard about is a glass of wine is good for heart health, that sort of thing. But let's talk about which cancers are associated with alcohol consumption.
Yeah, the cancers we're talking about are cancers, with my model here, of the mouth, of the throat, of the esophagus, that's your swallowing tube, of the liver, the colon, and then also for women, breast cancer. Also, in addition to the cancers, you can have also increased problems with your liver, with high blood pressure, and with that rapid irregular heartbeat called atrial fibrillation, all those from heavy consumption of alcohol.
Okay, alcoholism, that's part of a new study, and we want to talk about alcoholics having different issues. Are there different issues?
Yeah, they clearly are. That's a different thing. What we're talking about here is the fact that years ago, it was said that people that drank the minimal amount, 1 or 2, 2 to 3 glasses a day, they did better than folks that didn't drink at all. But looking at those studies again, the folks that didn't drink were in a category where the minority of those folks couldn't drink because they were alcoholics or they had liver disease or other diseases. Take those minority out, and the folks who didn't drink actually did better than the folks who had minimal drinks. So bottom line is, a little drinks may be good for you, but maybe not bad for you. It's very bad to have a lot more. Certainly very bad to have a lot more.
Not sure if we'll be able to convince some of those fans today, but we appreciate the insight, Dr. Winter.
All right, good to be with you, Kara. Thank you.